invite on the stage Mr. Sushant Gupta, Mr. Yogesh Kundani, Mr. Kamlesh Shroff, Mr. Mahesh Desai, and Mr. Arjun Shah. Can we have a big round of applause, please? Who have graciously accepted our invitation and are here with us today. May I kindly request Mr. Arjun Shah and Mr. Milan Parekh to come forward and extend a token of appreciation to Sri Sushant Gupta, Regional Head NSC. Can we have a big round of applause, please? Can we have a big round of applause? Thank you, sirs. May I kindly request Mr. Kamlesh Shroff and Mr. Vaibhav Shah to come forward and extend the token of appreciation to Sri Yogesh Kundani, Senior Vice President, CDSL. Can we have a big round of applause, please? Thank you, sirs. May I now kindly request Mr. Mahesh Desai and Mr. Arjun Shah to come forward and extend the token of appreciation to Mr. Kamlesh Shroff, Alternate President of Anmi National Council. Can we have a big round of applause, please? Together, they mark the beginning of this exciting journey with their valuable contribution to this industry and the event. Without further delay, I would now invite Mr. Mahesh Desai, Director, Anmi National Council and Convener of Gujarat STOCKTECH Event 2025 for his inaugural speech. Can we have a big round of applause, please?
Good morning. Esteemed ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to extend warm welcome to the dignitaries at the STOCKTECH event organized by the AHME, Association of National Action Members of India, Western Region. I am Mahesh Desai, serving as the Director of AHME National Council and Convener of STOCKTECH 25 Gujarat, and it is indeed a pleasure for me to have a privilege of hosting first ever Gujarat technology event, STOCKTECH, within the financial industry. The Indian stock market is transforming with new technologies such as AI, blockchain, cloud computing, RPA, advanced analytics, and smart contracts. And this technology enhances transparency, reduce costs, increase efficiency, and automatic tasks. The technology can be used for many other tasks besides the trading, like onboarding of clients, risk management, compliance, monitoring, reporting, and protecting client assets and securities, to name just a few. It is imperative that we, as an intermediary, make technological investment in order to broaden our investor base, better inform investor, and improve our infrastructure. We are honored to have all of you over here today and hope you find this event valuable and informative. Thank you for your time and attention. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing insightful information. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege to welcome Mr. Arjun Shah, Chairman, Anmi Western Region, to deliver a welcome speech. Arjun, sir. Can we have a big round of applause, please?
Thank you, Sheetal. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us at the first ever AHME Western Region Gujarat Technology Show, STOCKTECH 2025. It's wonderful to see all of you here today. We've brought together over 30 technology vendors under one roof because we know how critical the right technology is in your daily operations. And whenever you're looking for whatever solutions that you look for, be it advanced charting tools, algo trading solutions, cybersecurity, and even efficient back office systems, you'll find them all here today. The timing couldn't be better As we enter the financial year 2025, the technology landscape is transforming rapidly with AI innovations and increasing IT investments. This is not just about keeping up with the trends. This is about finding practical solutions that boost your operational efficiency and help you serve your clients better. Today is more than just an exhibition. It's an opportunity to explore, learn, and connect. Our panelists will share valuable insights on surveillance systems and compliance, while our exhibitors are here to demonstrate how their solutions can address your specific challenges. I'm grateful to each one of you for taking time out on a Saturday to be here. Your participation makes this inaugural Gujarat StockTech event truly special. Let's make the most of this day, explore the exhibition, attend the panel discussion, and network with our fellow brokers. Welcome to StockTech 2025. I hope you find exactly what you're looking for. Thank you.
Thank you for your valuable insights. We are now pleased to invite Mr. Yogesh Kundani, Senior Vice President, CDSL. Mr. Yogesh is a foundational member of CDSL since inception. He has been instrumental in the company's growth, developing and executing successful business expansion strategies. He also maintains a long-standing association with Anmi. So may I have a big round of applause for Mr. Yogesh Kundani.
Thank you, Sheetal. So good morning to all of you. Sri Mahesh Desai, Mr. Arjun Shah, Sushant Gupta, Kamlesh Bhai, all the Anmi members whom I know personally very well and are very dear to me. All the back office vendors I can see, Nilesh Bhai and Bhavesh Bhai also. So thank you very much to Anmi for giving us this opportunity to be part of this exciting event. Incidentally, I'm at CDSL. I've been associated with all the stock tech events which have happened till now. In Bombay also, which have been a big success. And I'm sure this Ahmedabad one is also very exciting and, would be very successful event. So thank you once again. So at CDSL now we are extremely committed, as you all may be knowing, to support advancement of technology in capital markets. This is basically to enhance market efficiency and ease of doing business for our depository participants, Anmi members, as well as for the investors also. So technology, as you all know, is widely considered as indispensable for future growth. We have seen COVID come and go, and not a single day there has been disruption in our Indian capital markets. That is thanks to technology and the support that we have got from brokers, depository participants, the back office vendors, which are there, who have tirelessly worked day in, day out to ensure that each and every day these settlements and tradings happen smoothly. So over last several years at CDSL, we've always, endeavored to provide value to all the Anmi members, to all the brokers, as well as the investors. Extensively, we have been using technology in CDSL for the last 10 years. Our EDIS offering, which is there, we actually pioneered this in capital markets. And this was in way back in 2015 when we had introduced the EDIS concept. That time it was actually optional, and now it is actually picked up. And it improves the onboarding process, reduces the time, increases the efficiency also in our Indian capital markets. Over last several years, actually, we have introduced a lot of e-services, right from starting from our internet offering, which was easy and easiest, which I recollect. I have been with CDSL since '98. So we first introduced the Easy facility in 2002, I remember, which was the web-based platform. That time it was very new concept in 2002. Then we graduated to Easiest. We offered e-voting. We were the first to offer e-voting services, and currently also we offer e-voting services to more than 4,000 companies every year do AGM through CDSL platform. And then we gradually increased our API offerings. We have currently API offerings for account opening, for early paying transactions. This is the most value-added feature apart from EDIS. Margin pledge and the early pay in API is very widely used by all our depository participants across the country. This is thanks to support of the vendors, the IT teams of the DPs also who have, worked tirelessly in implementing these APIs over the years. We have a few more APIs coming up for the ease of doing business over next 2 to 3 years. So that, also we can discuss. We have a stall over here and we have a very strong regional office in Ahmedabad. So all the members from Gujarat, I'm sure they are in touch with our Ahmedabad office, and we can handhold all our depository participants in implementing these APIs. My colleague is here from the Advanced Technology Group. So in CDSL recently, we have created an Advanced Technology Group which will look at the emerging technologies which would be adopted by CDSL and the entire capital markets over the next several years. So I have my colleague here, Ninad, who would be doing an extensive session on the offerings that we have in terms of technology. So I'll leave that, really to him. I once again congratulate Anmi and everyone here for this wonderful event. I already see a lot of people here, and I'm sure this will be a roaring success today. Thank you very much. Best of luck to all.
Thank you, sir, for gracing us with your insights. I am delighted to invite Mr. Sushant Gupta, Regional Head of NSC, with his almost 2 decades of dedicated experience in financial industry. He is a proven leader in handling multiple portfolios. He currently holds the pivotal role of Regional Head of NSC, responsible for strategic oversights and growth of Gujarat and MP region. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sushant Gupta.
Thank you, Sheetal. Good morning, everyone. Distinguished guests at the podium, industry leaders, esteemed members, and all the friends and partners from the banking and the fintech community. On behalf of National Stock Exchange, it's my privilege and honor to be a part of the first StockTech conclave in Ahmedabad from NB. While the city is also known for its vibrancy, so I hope and I believe this event will live up to that expectation, and I hope that people from Ahmedabad will come and contribute to this fintech with enthusiasm. This conclave is not just a meeting of minds but a celebration of innovation, where technology and markets converge to shape the future of Indian capital market. And it couldn't have come at a more opportune time, because we are at the cusp of transformative phase. Markets are becoming more inclusive. Tech-driven models are redefining access, and new age investors are shaping the demand for transparency, efficiency, and seamless experience. At NSE, we see ourselves not just as an exchange, but as an ecosystem enabler, continuously pushing the frontier through robust infrastructure, cutting-edge products, investor-centric initiatives, and a strong regulatory environment. Whether it's push for real-time risk management, expansion of derivatives, inclusion of retail and fixed income and commodity segments, technology has been and will continue to remain as a part of the integral part of every initiative which we take at NSE. But we do also recognize that this journey is not alone. We need fintech partners, we need market participants, we need members to come and create awareness and use the technology as much as they can. It's a collaborative effort we believe in, where the members, fintech innovators, investors, regulators, and market infrastructure institutions like NSE must step forward together in sync and in trust. That's what makes these platforms like StockTech so important. They provide a space to discuss, debate, and co-create the future. Now, today's session are set to spark some compelling conversations from algorithmic trading to digitization in compliance, from AI in investor engagement to cyber resilience. I encourage all of you to not just absorb, but actively participate and contribute in this talk tech. Now, before I close, I would again thank Anmi for creating this meaningful event and for their continued efforts in strengthening the broker community and market architecture. So let this conclave be a springboard to ideate, to innovate, to discuss, and co-create the future. I once again a warm welcome to each one of you, and let's make this conclave not just insightful, but impactful. Thank you once again. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for gracing us with your insightful knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude this enriching session, it is time to express our heartfelt gratitude. To do the honors, I am delighted to invite Mr. Kamlesh Shroff, alternate president, to deliver a vote of thanks. Can we have a big round of applause, please?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, यार. गुजरात की वाइब्रेंसी थोड़ी है ये यार. गुजरात तो गुजरात छे भाई. So, this technology show, I want to just take you quickly behind a little because this was actually started in 2018, 7 years earlier. And when we actually started, just like Gujarat is starting today, we were a handful of 20 stalls. And we didn't even know, besides the vision that we want to get technology that we consume so much in everyday life to people, because that's the only way you can grow. Then, at that time, we had 20 stalls. You'll have 40. So, big round of applause for all of you guys. Mere liye nahi. So, this is a great start as the first one in Gujarat, which is never, and with 40 stalls, I think it's a great effort that has gone in, and people realize. Now, I don't need to say, by technology is the backbone, or this is what you should do for technology. Sabko samajh mein aa gaya hai कि how important is technology from a broking outfit like ours also. So we are fully dependent on technology, and we are fully dependent on what's new that's happening. And thus, this Stock Tech show that has come to life. And because of the overwhelming presence of people at all times, we thought, let's have a Gujarat chapter. But this is super enthusiasm. We will probably work in the other 2 regions also, hopefully next year. So now let me give the credits for this. And of course, as always, who else than the 2 large technology users and givers? NSC, Sushant we have. Thank you so much for partnering with us. Louder, sir, louder. Thank you. हमारे sponsors hai. Second is Yogesh Bhai Kundani from CDSL. And trust me, even in the first tech show they were there, and they are there now. And when it will be maybe 50 years, Yogesh Bhai won't be there, but someone else will be there. CDSL to rahega aur NSC bhi rahega. So wo to pakka hi hai. So thanks so much for onboarding yourself on this one. So another big thank you that needs to be acknowledged is Arjun Shah, our chairman. So this is the first time. So whenever you do anything first, it's like bull runs of the sorts, the first bull run. The first bull run has its own importance, whether it be 1992 ka Harshad Mehta, but uska jo learning hai, it's a lot larger than the Jane Street one example. So definitely, so that's how Arjun's kind of brought this bullish moment over here. Lovely, one hand round of applause for him. Mahesh Bhai ka kya kahe yaar. Mahesh Bhai has been, I think, 2000, first 2 we did it. So I was second president to the Stock Tech. The first one was Ankit, who actually started with the 20, as I said. And we had it at the BSc. And uske baad it's kind of growing. So Mahesh Bhai, after me, has been consistently for last 5 years. So आधा decade Stock Tech कर रहे हैं. So that's a round of applause for him. Anmi Secretariat, unbelievable work. As you see, the venue, thanks to Vaibhav, as I got to know. Vaibhav was the one who actually got the venue stitched up. And of course, the whole Anmi Secretariat has kind of worked into this. So the Western region headed by Sheetal and I think 4 other people, I don't recollect the names, but yeah, Payal and others. One round of applause for them. And team creation, who has always been doing for last 4 years, setting up the stalls and everything. Very wonderfully set up stalls. So, and let's take a moment to, enjoy this whole atmosphere. Did I miss something? And of course, tradition, Jainam Broking, Milan Bhai, and NJ have done the kit sponsor. So once you get the hands on the lovely kits, do acknowledge that. Thank you. Prudent, yeah. Okay. So thank you and Jai Hind. Please enjoy the day. Thank you.
Exhibitors, yeah. So I would also like to thank all the exhibitors who have participated for this first ever Gujarat Tech Show. A big round of applause for all the exhibitors who have supported this event. A big round of applause, please, for them. Thank you, Shrav sir. I thank you, each one of you, for joining today. May I now request all of you all to proceed for breakfast, and then after we will invite you all for special sessions. There are 2 sessions, one by NSC and one by CDSL. So yeah, thank you very much. And I now request all our directors, EC members to come forward for one photograph, please. Mr. Vaibhav Shah, Mr. Amar Parikh, Mr. Milan Parikh, yeah, Anil Shah sir, Yogesh, Suresh Nemani sir, yeah. All our directors and EC members. May I request all our stockbroker members, exhibitors to come forward for special sessions by NSE and CDSL. Of Indian financial market, Mr. Vipul Sinha, a distinguished member at NSE with over 15 years of experience in stock exchange operation, member servicing, stakeholder engagement and business development. He currently associated with NSE, where he is responsible for managing and supporting domestic trading members in Gujarat. So may I have a round of applause for Mr. Vipul Sinha. May I now request Mr. Amar Parekh and Mr. Mahesh Desai to come forward for token of appreciation, please. Can we have a big round of applause? Can we have a big round of applause, please? Thank you, sirs. I now request Mr. Vipul Sinha to take over.
So, good morning. Thanks, Ital. Thanks, Anmi. आप लोगों ने गुजरात में पहली बार ये एग्जीबिशन रखा, उसके लिए हम सभी तरफ से आप सभी लोग का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. गुजरात को, अहमदाबाद को आपने याद रखा. अदरवाइज मैक्सिमम टाइम वी नॉर्मली यूज टू विजिट मुंबई और दिल्ली. सो थैंक्स अ लॉट. And before starting the session, I would like to say thanks to all our members, all associations, especially Anmi, and all the investor and clients. क्योंकि आज NSE नंबर 1 डेरिवेटिव अगर एक्सचेंज है, so this is only due to your support and आपका जो ट्रस्ट है उस हिसाब से हम नंबर 1 रहे हैं. एंड अगले आने वाले टाइम में भी हम नंबर 1 रहना चाहते हैं. सो आपका सपोर्ट इसी तरह से हमारे साथ बना रहे. दैट वी एक्चुअली वी वांट. सो विदाउट लूजिंग द टाइम आई वांट टू स्टार्ट माय सेशन. बट बिफोर स्टार्टिंग दिस सेशन आई वुड लाइक टू प्ले वन स्मॉल वीडियो जो अभी हमने रिसेंटली एक नया प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च किया है उसके बारे में है. मैं उसके बारे में थोड़ा ब्रीफ और भी अच्छे से आपको बताऊंगा. बट बिफोर गोइंग ऑन दैट प्लीज़ स्टार्ट द वीडियो.
Electricity lights up our homes, powers our progress, and adds sparkle to our celebrations. Launching monthly electricity futures on NSE. With electricity futures in place at NSE, one can hedge its risk. This will offer visibility of prices and protection from high volatility to every participant, from generator to industrial buyer. It gives us immense pleasure to share that NSE has received formal approval from SEBI for the launch of monthly electricity futures on our commodity platform. NSE was the first stock exchange in India to establish an electricity exchange, launched Power Exchange India Limited, PXIL, in 2008. Electricity as India's new financial commodity. Electricity derivatives will emerge as a key segment in India's commodity ecosystem, and they will accelerate investment across power value chains, generation, transmission, distribution, retail. These contracts will build early market liquidity through tighter bid, offer spreads, and better price discovery. Futures complement electricity sector reforms on content, carrot separation, and consumer choice. A hedging mechanism will allow more merchant power development, and attract financing into renewables. The launch of monthly electricity futures by NSE aims to manage risk by lock-in prices ahead of demand spikes, stabilize costs for discoms and industries, hedge merchant revenue for generators, enable accurate long-term budgeting, and market development by drive liquidity into electricity as an asset class, support financing of renewable energy projects, empower new retailers and traders to participate. Now let's us navigate to commodity derivatives futures on NSE website. So, stay tuned as electricity futures bring India closer to one transparent, unified and risk-managed power market.
Thank you. So, PPT please. So now it's very much open to each and everyone. What NSA is going to, share about the new product and a special session. So that is the special session. हम लोग आज इलेक्ट्रिसिटी डेरिवेटिव फ्यूचर के ऊपर में थोड़ी बात करेंगे. I'll not go too much in the technical side. So as you can see, what the normally we have given a punchline that will show in the last. One grid, one price, one नेसर. एक्चुअली अगर आज के टाइम में अगर हम देखते हैं, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इज़ वन ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट जहाँ पर उसकी जो प्राइस है उसके अंदर में जो फ्लक्चुएशंस है वो काफ़ी हाई है. जो उसकी मूवमेंट है, अगर हम स्पॉट को अगर ट्रैक कर रहे हैं तो उसकी जो प्राइस है काफ़ी फ्रिक्वेंटली उसकी प्राइसेस चेंज होते हैं. सो फ्यूचर के अंदर में अगर हम कोई एक प्रोडक्ट अगर देते हैं तो जितने भी स्पॉट के प्लेयर्स हैं दे कैन हेज देयर पोजीशंस और जो उनके रिस्क हैं उसको वो मिनिमाइज कर सकते हैं, विच वी आर ऑलरेडी डूइंग इन अदर प्रोडक्ट्स. सो व्हाट विल टॉक ऑन दैट. इलेक्ट्रिसिटी मार्केट का एक थोड़ा बेसिक इन्फॉर्मेशन हम लेंगे. देन हमारा जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है दैट सिंबल इज ECMPL. उसमें मैक्सिमम एंड मिनिमम लॉट साइज कितना क्या हो सकता है एज ए इंडिविजुअल्स, ऑन दैट विल टॉक ऑन दैट. कैपेसिटी क्या रहेगी फॉर द हेजर्स. देन VAPT फॉर द जो स्पॉट के जो प्राइस हैं विच एक्सचेंज विल टेक, वो कैसे होगा, कौन उसको देगा. स्पॉट मार्केट में लॉन्ग एंड शॉर्ट टर्म की जो फैसिलिटी है दैट विल टॉक ऑन दैट ऑल्सो. एंड ग्लोबल एक्सपीरियंस मार्केट साइज किस तरह से है. एंड फाइनली हेजिंग अगर कर रहे हैं तो उसमें मार्केट पार्टिसिपेशन को बेनिफिट्स क्या है. सो इफ विल टॉक अबाउट द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, विल डिवाइड दैट सेगमेंट इन 4 पार्ट, राइट. द फर्स्ट वन इज जनरेटर. A person who is generating the power, like if we'll talk about the JSW, okay, then Adani Power also, they are those one in the market who are generating the power. The second role is for the transmission. Transmission just like कि electricity हम कहीं पर उसको generate कर रहे हैं, दूसरे प्लेसेस के ऊपर में जो पहुंचाने का जो वायरिंग का जो काम होता है, दे आर द ट्रांसमिशंस. इसमें नॉर्मली मैक्सिमम्स जो है गवर्नमेंट की एंटिटीज़ होती हैं, गवर्नमेंट पार्टीज एंटिटीज़ होती हैं जो द डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर एंड द फाइनल रिटेल, जस्ट लाइक द फाइनल यूज़र एंड यूज़र, जस्ट लाइक अस, अ फैक्ट्री, अ होटल एंड मॉल, दे ऑल आर द फाइनल एंड यूज़र्स. If we talk about the electricity, we cannot, store the electricity, right? अगर हम electricity generate कर रहे हैं, so anyhow we have to consume that. अलग अलग ब्लॉकेज के अंदर में वो सारे electricity generate होती है 15 मिनट 30 मिनट के slot के अंदर में. So a moment when we are, generating the electricity, we have to consume that. सिनेरियो की अगर हम बात करते हैं, एज पर द करंट सिनेरियो, जो जनरेटर है उसके पास क्या क्या ऑप्शंस हैं अभी करंट सिचुएशंस के अंदर में। जो भी पावर प्राइसेस हैं उसकी जो एग्रीमेंट होती है उसके ऊपर वो अभी के टाइम में वो काम कर सकता है। OTC मार्केट जो है, ओवर द ट्रेड काउंटर, वहाँ आकर के वो ट्रेड कर सकता है, एंड मर्चेंट जो है उसको वो बेच सकता है। दिस आर द ओनली 3 ऑप्शंस विच करेंटली अवेलेबल बिफोर लॉन्चिंग द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फ्यूचर। उसके पास फाइनेंशियल फ्यूचर्स यानी उसके हेजिंग टूल्स उसके पास अवेलेबल नहीं थे। द सेम साइड इफ विल टॉक अबाउट द, वो मैंने सेल पे बताया, अगर बायर की भी बात करते हैं, सो लाइव ऑन द NSE in the commodity segments. So if we'll talk about that product, that is electricity future, the symbol is already we have highlighted. So 12-month calendar and monthly contracts. Currently we have 3-month contract which are available on the exchange. Monday to Friday, if we'll talk about the commodity, it's a Monday to Friday market, and morning 10 to 11:30 and 11:55 in the winter season. So that's the actual time. The most important, the trading unit. ट्रेडिंग यूनिट रुपीज़ की होगी, यानी पर टिक अगर ऊपर नीचे अगर होता है प्राइस से, सपोज कि 6400 की प्राइस है, 6401 गया तो 50 रुपीज़ प्लस और 50 रुपीज़ माइनस, दैट इज़ द लॉट साइज। मिनिमम अगर मार्जिन की बात करें, से सपोज इफ समवन इज वांट टू कीप द लाइव पोजीशन इन द फ्यूचर, तो वो 10% की मार्जिन होगी, से सपोज अगर लगेगा फ्यूचर में पोजीशन खड़ा करने के लिए। एक इंडिविजुअल जो क्लाइंट है वो 3 लाख और 5% की जो टोटल मार्केट वाइड ओपन पोजीशन होती है वहाँ तक की वो पोजीशन ओपन कर सकता है इंडिविजुअल्स। द सेम इज एप्लीकेबल विद द मेंबर ऑल्सो, दैट विल इंक्रीज अप टू 30 लाख और 20%। इट्स अ डेली सेटलमेंट प्राइस, एंड जो फाइनल है वो कैश सेटलमेंट प्राइस है। जो स्पॉट के जो प्राइस होती है वहाँ से वो सेटल हो जाता है। फिगर हमने बताने का, दिस आर द अप्रॉक्स फिगर्स। एक ओपन पोजीशन की अगर हम बात करते हैं, सोलर इंडस्ट्री का अगर कोई बंदा है तो उसकी टोटल ओपन पोजीशन कितनी रह सकती है, दैट 2.08 गीगावाट एज ए इंडिविजुअल्स ओपन पोजीशन, विंड मिल 1.19 गीगावाट्स, एंड द थर्मल हाइड्रो एंड हाइब्रिड 0.83 गीगावाट्स। फिर टॉक अबाउट द मेंबर, एक मेंबर है उसमें अगर सोलर इंडस्ट्रीज के लोग उसके साथ एसोसिएट हैं, सो टोटल ओपन पोजीशन शुड बी नॉट मोर देन 20.8 गीगावाट्स। फॉर द विंड मिल 11.9, and thermal 5.5, and hydro 5.5, and hybrid 8.33. This is the maximum limit size for the industry wise. This is we are trying to, that we have tried to show the exactly what kind of the position actual open in the spot market. So we can see कि long position जो है वो long term की जो position contract की है वो spot में हमारे पास अभी ज़्यादा है। The same we expecting in the future market also. इंडिया जो है वो 3rd लार्जेस्ट पावर प्रोड्यूसर है एज पर द ग्लोबल रिपोर्ट्स, उसमें अगर हम देखेंगे। सो इनडायरेक्टली वी कैन से कि इन इंडिया इलेक्ट्रिसिटी डेरिवेटिव फ्यूचर के अंदर में काफ़ी सारे अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं। आप काफ़ी सारे स्ट्रैटेजी उसके ऊपर में लगा के काम कर सकते हो। आइदर यू आर फ्रॉम द जनरेटर साइड, ट्रांसमिशन साइड और कॉर्पोरेट साइट्स। प्राइस बेस जो है वो किसके ऊपर में होगी, सो डिमांड एंड सप्लाई, डेफिनेटली ईच एंड एवरी कमोडिटी दैट डिपेंड ऑन द डिमांड एंड सप्लाई, उसकी जो प्राइस की जो ट्रेंड होती है वो डिमांड सप्लाई पे डिपेंड होती है। पावर की कितनी जनरेशंस हो रही है स्पॉट में, दैट्स द मेन इंपॉर्टेंट रोल। सीजन फैक्टर इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, वेदर जो है वो काफ़ी इफेक्ट करता है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को। लाइक अगर सीजन मानसून का है तो डेफिनेटली विल इफेक्ट द प्राइस ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी। मार्केट डिमांड एंड जो उसकी जो टोटल ट्रेडिंग की जो वॉल्यूम्स है वो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फ्यूचर के प्राइसेस को इफेक्ट करेगा। इट्स नथिंग एल्स। हियर वी नॉर्मली ट्राई टू गिव यू वन ग्राफ कि अपने डैम जो है उसका अगर टोटल एवरेज प्राइस अगर निकालते हैं तो वो क्या होता है, किस तरह से वो मूव कर रहा है। तो डेली वॉलेटिलिटी भी वी कैन सी कि स्टेबल है। फरवरी 24 से लेके आपको अप्रैल 24 तक का वो एक ग्राफिकल दिया गया है। डैम इज़ नथिंग एल्स डे हेड मार्केट। स्पॉट मार्केट जो है वो T+1 पे हम जो काम करेंगे वो T+1, यानी अगर स्पॉट की अगर बात करते हैं तो जो बीड होती है वो मॉर्निंग 10 to 11 तक की बीड होती है, राइट। और जो पूरे दिन का जो काम है वो जो 10 से 11 बजे का जो बीड आया है उसके ऊपर में वो बाकी दिन का वो ट्रेडिंग होता है। पूरे दिन में 2 बार स्पॉट की प्राइस डिक्लेयर होती है, 12:30 बजे और 4:30 बजे। आई विल शो दैट ऑल्सो ऑन आवर वेबसाइट। दैट इज द ग्राफ ऑफ रियल टाइम volatility and all. So if normally I'll explain that in the basic examples. Like if I am one of the buyer और 6500 का एक प्राइस चल रहा है और अगर प्राइस 700 चला जाता है तो मैंने अगर 6500 पे लिया तो मुझे 500 का प्रॉफिट हो गया है। सो स्पॉट वाले जो होते हैं उसमें जो उसका इफेक्टिव सेल प्राइस है, अगर वो बाय भी कर रहा है या सेल कर रहा है, वट एवर इज डूइंग, इफेक्टिव सेल प्राइस के ऊपर में किसी भी तरह का कोई भी उसको नुकसान नहीं आएगा। इवन जो फाइनेंशियली है वो दैट ही कैन हेज, राइट। अगर आने वाले टाइम में आज के डेट में 6500 पे उसको स्पॉट मिल रहा है, फ्यूचर में उसको लग रहा है कि दैट विल गो, अगर फ्यूचर में मुझे 7000 पे मिल रहा है तो आज के डेट में वो फ्यूचर में अपनी एक पोजीशन बनाएगा और जब वो कैश सेटल होगा तो 6500 वाला 700 जाएगा तो उसको एक तरफ से 500 की प्रॉफिट हो जाएगी। सो ये एक हमने सिनेरियो देने का कोशिश किया है। प्राइस राइजिंग एंड ऑल, ये कुछ इस तरह का स्क्रीन होगा दैट आई ऑल्सो शो ऑन आर। एक डैशबोर्ड हम लोगों ने डिक्लेयर किया है, तो हर एक जो भी क्लाइंट है, रिटेल क्लाइंट आइदर फ्रॉम द कॉर्पोरेट और एनी एंड यूजर, दे कैन ट्रैक द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फ्यूचर प्राइस फ्रॉम द NSE वेबसाइट्स। So for that I was talking on our punchline is one nation, one grid and one price. So each and every state is giving their own price for the electricity. Even हम अगर अपने घर का भी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का बिल अगर चेक करेंगे तो शायद लास्ट का जो 4 डिजिट है उसमें भी आपको हर महीने का डिफरेंस दिखेगा, either रेसिडेंशियल और कमर्शियल। सो आई वुड लाइक टू प्लीज़ वेबसाइट दिखाना। सो दिस इज़ NSEindia.com वेबसाइट्स। यहाँ आने के बाद हम स्क्रॉल करके नीचे के साइड में आएंगे, आपको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का कमोडिटी स्पॉट प्राइस दिख रहा है, दिस इज़ द सिंबल। और ये हमारा कल शाम का 4:30 बजे का 4694.86 का स्पॉट प्राइस आपको यहाँ पर दिख रहा है। दैट यू कैन ट्रैक ईच एंड एवरी डे। जो मार्केट जो चलेगा उसमें जो हम स्पॉट प्राइस इज़ द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इफ़ यू आर ट्रेडिंग इन द फ्यूचर। So from there you can track the spot price. Next one please. The same you can track the, this is the जो अभी हमारा जो ट्रेड हो रहा है, जो हम बेस्ट 5 जो बोलते हैं, वो 4346 का जो अभी हमारा करंट मंथ है, 29 अगस्त का हमारा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अभी चल रहा है। तो 29 अगस्त के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के अंदर में 50 मेगावाट आवर का हमारा लॉट साइज जो है 4346 और 4347 की जॉबिंग के ऊपर में हमारा काम हुआ है। Please go on the all historical data, please. So total 5 working day we did, and last 5 दिन में ही हम लोगों ने मार्केट रेशियो की अगर हम बात करेंगे, so we have achieved very good number। 14 को हम लोगों ने इसको लॉन्च किया। On the same day we did, जो करंट मंथ जो चल रहा है उसमें 9315 लॉट के हम लोगों ने काम देखे, हमको इतना लॉट मिला। 124 हमको नेक्स्ट मंथ मिला और 22 यानी अप्रॉक्स नियर अबाउट 10,000 लॉट का हमारा डे 1 जो 14 जिस दिन हम लोगों ने इसको लॉन्च किया था वहाँ हमको ये काम मिला। और उसके बाद रैंडमली 4600 देन 2000 और भी जो लास्ट हमारा वर्किंग जो गया है दैट इज़ द फ्राइडे का ये 18 जुलाई का मेरे पास, अब मैं आपको हिस्टोरिकल डेटा दिखा रहा हूँ, 3084 एंड 125 लॉट का काम मेरा नेक्स्ट सितंबर मंथ के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में हुआ है. So each and everything live now. You can track the future price on your front end and spot price और जो historical data है you can follow the our NSE India websites. And if there is any something else, so you can approach the member and approach. We will be fully transparent and can be trusted to provide enough informations. So on that statement, I want to say thanks to all our audience and all our exhibitors. Thank you so much.
For your insightful discussion. The brilliant mind leading the advanced technology group at CDSL with an impressive 27 years of global experience, Mr. Ninad is at the forefront of research and innovation, diving deep into cutting-edge fields like AI, ML, blockchain, and quantum technologies. May I have a round of applause to welcome Mr. Ninad Rajadaksh, CDSL. Welcome, sir. Please. May I now request Mr. Arjun Shah and Mr. Hiren Thakkar to come forward and for the token of appreciation, please. Can we have a round of applause, please? Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sheetal. Thank you, Anmi and dignitaries. It's an honor to be here. This is my first visit to Ahmedabad, as well as first talk in the STOCKTECH event. So, thank you for inviting me. In fact, before coming here, I was just thinking about how do I go about and what do I actually talk about. Because I understand AI and all these technologies are still looked at as a cautious, means people are taking cautious approach towards this. And of late, there has been circulars also from consultation papers from SEBI, where we want to actually tread a more cautious approach. So I thought about actually really going through the past years of CDSL and look at how technology has really created value for all the market participants. Okay. So I, being part of Advanced Technology Group, I am a firm proponent of technology, technologist at heart, and I will be walking you through a lot of transformation stories that CDSL has gone through. Today's agenda is primarily to take you through the value that technology has created for the participants. I understand that various initiatives are also already known to various brokers, DPs. They have been using technologies day in, day out, or the capabilities day in, day out. But my focus will be how is technology creating value for the end users. Okay. So let's rewind and go past. So CDSL started its journey in 1999. It's almost about 26 years that we have been actually operating. I think these are some of the key milestones. There are too many milestones, but I don't want to cover everything on the slide here. But of course, this migrating from a console-based system to a web interface created a shift towards a better operating model for the BOs and DPs to operate. So essentially, 2002 and 2004 was the turning point, in my opinion, where we are today. I think this was the initial start of it. Then, of course, the SEBI chairman, Sri UK Sinha, inaugurated the launch of actually the largest KRA. So, apart from the depository business, you can see that we are also going beyond depository into KRA and those aspects, because that was the need of the hour, as we talk about. And in 2017, we became the first listed depository in the Asia Pacific region. And it's really an achievement in its place. Today, in 2025, I am very proud to say that CDSL has crossed or gone beyond 15 crore account or 150 million accounts, and it's quite huge. Now, during this transformation, you can see that we would have started somewhere from 0 to 150 million accounts. The technology has kept pace with the growing needs of the market, the brokers, and the depository participant. So I want to really focus on some of the transformations that has happened and share it with all of you. It's insightful, and in fact, I joined CDSL just 1 year back, and I was just studying, going through all this transformation. It's really an impressive way of keeping track with the growing volumes that we look at. Okay. Yeah. So in fact, this slide is more about what are those technologies that has really transformed the markets. So let's look at the EDIS part. So traditionally DIS were paper-based. Power of attorney was supposed to be there. Physical signing was supposed to be there. Now it has all gone automated, and today's volumes are mind-boggling. We have almost about 18.57 orders, and every transaction, it is actually related, in fact converts into 2.34 crore transactions. So when I actually speak and look at actually the way we have even transformed the technology on the EDIS aspect, we are continuously focusing on how can we keep a pace for the next 5 years. So that's how actually we are getting ready from the technology perspective. Next is basically the capital gains that is getting actually calculated. All the transactions, so there is a lot of pre-processing required before we make available to CBDT, the Central Board of Direct Taxes. In fact, as the transaction volumes are increasing, we have actually created better ways to make this information available on a timely basis to this particular government organization. A lot of validations. I think technology has created a trust within all the investors, because the type of validations and aspects that there should not be any errors while actually processing. In fact, obligation matching is one of that example, where every sell order gets executed in the stock exchange. Basically, every trade is getting basically checked against the settlement setup that is happening in the depository. Okay. Now that validation seems to be easy, but it's happening for every sale order. So we need to be conscious about that, the way actually the system is taking care of. Surveillance. So essentially, trust of investor is going to be there only when we proactively identify some of the fishy transactions, or how do we really keep it authentic for all the stakeholders in the market. So essentially, this is one of the areas where we feel AI can also play a great role in this particular thing. But in the current situation, we have almost about 40 plus alerts which gets automatically generated online, and that's how actually we keep the pace of actually surveillance. The recent one is the direct payout. In fact, it's a opportunity for depositories to create a transparency for the investors, where directly the account gets debited or credited rather than going through clearing corporations and such type of means actually the systems. It is also creating more speed in the way actually things can be handled. So we are handling almost about 50 lakh transactions, and that too in just half an hour. So now, because of direct payout coming into picture, the settlement cycle has actually really reduced, and that makes the system more available quickly the very next day. So we will see actually the value of technology. It is actually helping the market participants and overall the market as we go on. So I have the next slide is primarily on the technology advancements. So predominantly the first slide was where technology enabled market transformation, but for CDSL also to work on, I think there are a lot of internal technical adoption that has happened and advancement that has happened. So I would like to actually start with, there is a advanced SIEM tool. So SIEM stands for Security Incident and Event Monitoring. In fact, then such type of advanced tool has built-in AI. So given that we have AI, we have an ability to do user study, the behavioral aspect of the users. In fact, if you get huge amount of alerts, machine processes it. It's difficult for a human to go through all those logging transactions and all. So a tool is being actually leveraged, and if you see, it's starting from 2020. I think those were the COVID times that when we actually started off with this. Next is the use of blockchain technology. So essentially, this was used for the monitoring of security and covenant bond monitoring. Of course, blockchain enables data sharing, brings in transparency, but we are just limited right now for this particular monitoring space. I guess in future blockchain could be enabled for tokenization or assetization of any securities as we go along. Okay. 2022 APIs were actually coming in place. I think APIs are the means to really simplify exchange of information. It gives high exchange. So tomorrow, means I'm not going to go through all those APIs, but wanted to actually let you know that it's the future. Means in fact, tomorrow if any new capability comes in, it will be appified and made available for the DPs, and I'm happy to say that majority of the DPs have really gone ahead and they like this technology, and the brokers are also using it. So in fact, this is going to be one of the key transformators from the technology perspective to make things more seamless and automated. CDP is a data platform that we have created. So essentially what happens is that huge amount of data that is getting processed in the online system even facilitates surveillance. So basically off market and those type of transactions are getting done through the data warehouse, and it is evolving. We see that this could be a potential source for our future AI type of actually solutions as we go along. I think making it more inclusive for the investors, DPs, I think multi-language has been actually a initiative from CDP, from the CDSL's perspective. This is going to make all the rural people also getting into the fold, because language is not going to be anyway the barrier. Okay, the websites, the tomorrow's chatbots and everything will get converted into more of actually native languages rather than actually just merely sticking to English. Account aggregator. Now, this has been an initiative to exchange the financial information between various players of the market. So there is a financial provider like us, so information that comes from us. So essentially, as an investor, he need not take all the hard copies to say a particular bank. The bank can just get information from this account aggregator. This is the brainchild from various regulatory teams, the SEBI, RBI, and all this information is stored securely with a consent taken by people who are making the information available. Okay, so essentially this account aggregator reduces again lot of paperwork being actually taken to the so the banks like ICICI Bank, I can walk into the branch and the bank can actually connect with the account aggregator to do the required validations. This is the next upcoming thing. In fact, scalability of the entire application is critical. So 26 years back, when systems were developed, they were monolithic in nature. Slowly, those systems, the capabilities got servitized. So now, with services, you are able to scale it infinitely. And the scaling is not just about the services, but also at an infrastructure layer. So microservices is the way to go about as we actually look at. And soon, so in fact, this services concept will help CDSL to embrace new business functionalities in lesser time without affecting the current functionality. So that's how actually we are looking at. Okay, so I'll move on. So just wanted to give you some numbers. So this is the last 5 years milestones and last 5 years things that I am actually sharing with you. But you can see that as the number of accounts have grown and the transactions have grown, we have to keep pace with all the infrastructure, and it's true with all the MIS because they are actually the central part across all the participants. So the numbers are in front of you. It's for you to actually just go through this thing. The last point I wanted to talk about is like the CBDT, the capital gains data, which used to take almost about 12 days, have been compressed. So this is what actually I just wanted to bring. It's not just about servicing today's requirement, but how do you really build the capability for future, so that we have to stay ahead of the market. Okay, we cannot be actually reactive. So that's the approach that we have taken at CDSL. Yeah, so I think I wanted to summarize whatever I talked about in the last 10-15 minutes. So, of course, the capabilities is just a tip of the iceberg, but there is lot that has gone beneath. So I just wanted to actually bring in, and this can be a takeaway from this session for all of you, and this need not be only restricted to MI. So I think being rigorous in the current processes is extremely critical. So you need to keep the show go on. However, you need to be also proactive enough to be ready for tomorrow. Okay, so you need to have both the things. One is let the show go on, and then being more proactive, you need to do the capacity planning, you need to bring in future capabilities. It could be enabled by blockchain, quantum, AI, whatever you talk about. Okay, so that should be the focus, is what actually we say. Infrastructure, so it's not just about the application, but all the layers that we need to look at. The scalable infrastructure is critical, because your application may scale, but your infrastructure also has to scale, and it's a continuous. Availability part is also extremely critical. In fact, I see that the rigor. So, by the way, I have also had my stint at NSC for 6 years, where I have actually managed the capital market trading system, and at that point of time, we had DR and all these things, but the rigor has certainly improved as of today. In fact, every quarter there is a drills going on. The primary side becomes, the DR side becomes the primary side, and I think it has changed the capital market readiness perspective. Cyber security is extremely important from the trust perspective. Okay, and it's not just about identifying the current behavior, but you need to also see what you have not, what are those unknowns also needs to be actually identified. And use of AI is the mantra that I would actually say. Technology partnerships is critical. Not all capabilities can be developed within the same organization. I think having the right partnerships with the fintechs, right partnerships with DPs, brokers, and many other aspects. In fact, I would say academia also included, that we can actually bring in a lot of value, and lot of future value, future proofing of the technologies can be done. Of course, I touched upon this. It's not a one-time BCP or something that needs to happen. It has to be a continuous, rigorous process for security, for availability, so that whenever an event happens, we are ready for that event. Investing in modern techniques and emerging technologies is very critical. Today, with AI, it is possible. Whatever a human is currently doing can be mimicked by a machine, and through training models and those aspects. So we need to actually exploit this capability, and humans are not going to go away. humans will do much more value-added capabilities rather than actually doing the mundane, manual, tedious and repetitive jobs. So one has to look at every process and look at how emerging technologies can be leveraged. Proactive application tuning, if you are today at X, you need to be ready for 10X. Okay, so you cannot really stop where you are or be very complacent with what you have. Of course, API we talked about. So this is of ease of integration, and that's going to stay. So more and more services will be enabled through APIs. Oh, I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your profound technical insights. Can we have a round of applause for Mr. Ninath? Thank you all for joining us for the special sessions. Thank you so much.
Welcome to this important panel discussion on surveillance alerts and compliance mechanisms. With the SEBI's recent circular mandating institution mechanism for fraud prevention, this conversation couldn't be more timely. Today, we will explore how technology regulation and the best practices coverage to create a safer trading environment. Let me introduce our distinguished panelists, Saili and Ravibai, who bring with us today an extensive expertise in compliance and surveillance systems. Let us begin to understand why the fundamental of these requirements is essential for the growth of our capital markets. So to begin the panel discussion, to Saili, if you can just answer this, what is the purpose for the regulatory requirements? The new SEBI circular requires the stockbrokers to implement a comprehensive surveillance system. Can you help us understand the core purpose behind PMLA and the surveillance requirements?
So, firstly, I would like to thank Anmi for giving Tractwiz the opportunity to be here on stage and share our thoughts on PMLA and surveillance compliance. Now, talking about why PMLA and surveillance is mandatory or necessary, I would like to say that like a country needs a line of defense to protect its citizens, its sovereignty, likewise, PMLA and surveillance framework is that line of defense for our capital market. India is among the fastest growing economy in the world. Capital markets are growing as well. We just saw in April 2025, NSE declared that it has crossed the mark of 22 crore accounts, which is a huge number. In today's CDSL presentation also we saw that CDSL has crossed 15 crore demat accounts. So the capital market is booming. It's going to grow. Another reason or another factor that I want to highlight is that according to the data available, the average age of India is 28. Whereas in countries like US and UK, the average age is around 38 to 40. So we have a very young population. Now this young population is aware of multiple instruments that are available for investment rather than the traditional ones. They are open to take risk, their risk appetite is high. So I'm assuming the markets are going to grow. And for us, the PMLA and surveillance framework is important because it safeguards our capital market, it protects the interest of our investors. And with the whole digital onboarding that has come in place, wherein you can open an account without visiting a branch physically, just online you can open an account, it makes it even more important for us to make sure that the whole framework is in place so that money launderers or fraudsters do not enter the market. So I think that's why it is important. And also why for the stockbrokers and market intermediaries, stockbrokers, AMCs, portfolio managers are all first line of defense, because they are the ones who are interacting with the customers, they are the ones who are onboarding them. So I think it's important for them to have a framework to be compliant with the regulation and also to safeguard our markets. Yeah, that's from my end.
So, if we look at the SEBI circular, there are three types of controls: preventative, detective, and corrective. How do these three work together in a practice to ensure orderly functioning of the markets?
See, as we all know, for any business, there are three kinds of controls. First one is the protective control, where you try and prevent the possibility of an untoward incident. Now, as per the surveillance and PMLA guidelines, SEBI has stipulated that there are certain customers which would be in the negative list. Now, who are these customers? These are the fugitive offenders or the defaulters in SEBI, or some orders have been passed against them. Now, neither the intermediaries nor the market participants or the SEBI want them to come into the system. But how do we prevent them? Because we have such a large population. So there are entities like ours and TrackWiz who maintain this huge database of people who are not supposed to be participating in the market. Then there are certain entities who are also borderline people, or there are people who may be subject to higher surveillance. For example, someone who is politically exposed. Not all politically exposed people are bad, but definitely they are to be subjected to a little higher level of surveillance, because the possibility of money laundering kind of a activity coming through them is a little higher. So we have to be more cautious. So by helping members identify whom not to allow, and by helping them alerting as to who should be under a more thorough scrutiny compared to other general customers, these kind of controls will prevent certain incidents from happening. But prevention nowhere is anyway assured. So then comes, if something has happened, it needs to be identified. Now, purpose of identification is threefold. First is, once if you have identified, you can take action against that party, or you can report to the regulator. Second is, you can put in place systems and processes which will try and prevent such incident. Third is the final, what reporting is to be done, maybe police complaint, maybe reporting to the FIU, or maybe some other kind of actions for maybe recoveries or any kind of activities that are required. So all three can be done. So once you have detected, you can, one, deal with the situation and also try and prevent it for future. Now third is a subset of the detective control, because corrective actions always flow from the examples that have already transpired. So to err is human, and it is appreciated by SEBI also. But after some incident has happened, what is our way of dealing with that situation defines the action. So if we are prompt enough to do FIU reporting for such incidents, and we have promptly taken up with the regulator, then they definitely take it with a lighter hand, and at times you don't even take actions. But if as members we are not even able to identify incidents which they are able to identify with the same resources that we have, then it is a difficult situation. Now certain situations would be which is only possible for an exchange to do. Like if someone does a reversal trade involving two brokers, definitely one broker cannot identify. So such things they also appreciate. They also, maybe they would have earlier issued show cause notice, but now they have stopped doing that. So they also learn with time. But where actions can be initiated by one entity, and if those are not initiated, then it is not taken very lightly, so that the same member also starts complying, and second is it becomes exemplary, that others also start complying. So in that way, all three kinds of controls, that is preventive, detective and corrective, they help us bring a much safer marketplace and further the objective of SEBI of providing a safer marketplace and protect the interest of investors and the markets at large.
So the circular specifically mentions the intent is for protecting the investors' interests. So can you share from experience what kind of manipulative practices are most concerning today, and how is it that these surveillance systems address that?
So see, if we identify, the trends have been keeping on changing from time to time, because as markets evolve, newer techniques of making money the wrong way also evolve. And it is always a cat and mouse race. The current trend what we are observing very recently is with regards to exchanges issuing notices to members for reversal transactions, which is now the most common. Now in such situation, at times what happens is the exchange alleges that it is done with an intention of transfer of profit. Now it may or may not have been done because of that intention, but then as members and as customers, if the customer has not done it with an intention of transfer of profit, then that has to be justified, and once that is justified, though the exchanges may not take it in the way you have presented, you always have an appeal before SAT, where SAT takes a holistic view, and exchange also looks for guidance from SAT that way. Because see, if they have passed certain orders in a particular manner, suddenly they cannot deviate. But if SAT then passes an order which otherwise is little different from exchange, it becomes a precedence for them to take diluted actions for future. So one is the area where reversal trades are happening. Second, which is even more dangerous, because here only two people of the same family or known people are involved. The larger problem and menace in the market is the pump and dump, where people run Telegram channels or circulate false YouTube videos, and as a result of which gullible investors, they end up buying those securities. So all these things a broker or an intermediary has to keep watching around. There are enabling data that is available from the regulators or the MIs, like they issue list of SMS scripts. Now what is SMS script? SMS script means a script where false SMS has been circulated with a positive news, resulting in common investors buying it. So as soon as the exchange comes to know, they issue a list of security which is called SMS securities. Our job as members is to keep on watching it on a daily basis, and if our customers have transacted even few days before, at least hold on to the payout, and then request the exchange to provide clarification that we had this kind of issue. If you tell us, we will release, otherwise we will hold on. And even if customer goes for arbitration, your communication will come to your help, that see, we have questioned the exchange, they are yet to come back. And then if arbitrators direct that you have to release, you are relieved from the possible consequences of that SMS script, where it could have possibly caused loss to gullible investors. So prompt action requires prompt identification, and identification process has to be really sharp at all the market intermediaries' place. And only then we can have a safer marketplace, not just from the customer side, but from the point of view of intermediary also, because ultimately all actions come on them.
So what
I would just like to add to this. Am I audible?
Yeah.
So in addition to reversal, reversal is definitely a priority, but I feel in addition to reversal, what the trading members also need to monitor is they now have data of devices through which logins are happening, or IP through which the trades are being placed. So monitoring of device IDs, multiple unrelated people logging in through the same
Same
device
MAC
is
address.
something that
Yeah.
needs to be monitored. IP address needs to be monitored. Plus, I think the exchanges are also facilitating the whole monitoring aspect because they are giving, like he mentioned, information of SMS watch list wherein SMSs are being circulated. There are graded surveillance scripts that are available, illiquid scripts. So they are also trying to categorize the scripts so that accordingly the trading members can do their investigation.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what we see is use of social media to actually spread the fake news and to lull the investor into getting into trades. And you're right, as far as the checking of multiple logins from the same MAC address and IP address is concerned, because NSE in their inspections now actively checks for that. So now let's move this to from the purpose to the role. So we are in stock tech, so the technology is a theme. So what is the role of the technology? Let's discuss that. Ravi, my question to you. Technology has revolutionized our surveillance capabilities. How has technology transformed the way we implement PMLA and surveillance processes? And also, if you can please also elaborate on how these complex systems analyze the data patterns and identify the anomalies in real time.
The markets have come of age and they have grown solely because of technology. If we can say, it would not be an exaggeration. All other things like compliance, onboarding of customer and everything has been made so convenient with technology that it is very easy for us to grow our business if we have implemented right technology solutions. But this also brings along so many risks. You get innovative kind of fraudsters also coming into the system. So कांटे को निकालने के लिए कांटा लगता है. So same technology has to be leveraged for identification of such unscrupulous market participants and their transactions, and it can be then prevented by using similar things. Now, when a new entity comes to the market, it is a clean slate. You have nothing which will be objectionable against them. But like if everybody has seen so many UPI related frauds, young players, they do such kind of activities. Now, if we want as agile and vigilant market participants, we should focus on analysis of transaction patterns. Because transaction patterns of general public would be similar or broadly like very simple. One cannot make profits in a very high percentage of trades. It can at best be 50%. In a longer term, because it works on probability, leave apart the exchange transaction charges and all, if you add those, 70% at least goes away. But without those charges also, in longer term, it may be, let us say, 50-50 kind of a hit ratio. Someone may be more intelligent, 60-70% may be possible with intelligent people. But if things are going beyond that, either that person is really intelligent or that person has something which is very fishy. So we have to keep analyzing. Now, one common thing which happens is there is front running happening on a rampant basis, which was continuing for ages. It is not that today it is happening. But today, exchanges and SEBI are able to identify that and they are able to send those queries to us. See, and it does not start directly with a show cause notice. Always it starts with small alert being generated, which the exchange surveillance department will also question. Which, to the best of our knowledge, most members, they simply reply by themselves without even going to the customer, no, he is genuine, he is intelligent, he is having lot of analysis and he makes profit. That is the general line. But it is not for us as members to reply that. See, our job is once some alert has come, we are not going to defend the customer because he is giving brokerage. He is not giving any amount of brokerage, individual customer giving qua the entire business brokerage. Any trade off it is to be done, it is only to be done on that individual. And nobody is telling you to forego on day one. But at least it has to be something which will trigger the alert. Rather than saying कि नहीं ये तो मेरा पहचान वाला है, बहुत अच्छा है, or I know him personally. So such kind of things you can only come to know through data patterns, and for identifying such data patterns you leverage technology. Second is tracking of the historical transactions where possibly things could have gone wrong, like the demat transaction, which physical to demat is a big issue which is happening, because many senior citizens, old peoples, they have physical shares even today. And many a times the moment it goes to RTA, someone will put a dispute in some different remote location and the dematerialization immediately stops. So it is a complete scheme where RTA, the person filing the complaint that I had purchased it 20 years back with false transfer, it is all a known scheme. So there are some precautions as members also we can take. Like if some such person has come to us for dematerializing substantial shares, see, if it is small amount it is okay, but substantial amount, which is the main target of others, first is members can make independent email communication with RTA as to in whose credit these shares stand today. Once that is on record, your customer becomes so safe, no one can then file a suit saying that no, I had purchased it 20 years back and RTA also backing him, because he has himself written it. So such kind of processes members should put in place basis the amounts involved at least. So maybe it is completely subjective. Some member may keep it 10 lakhs, some member may keep it 1 crore. But having such systems will avoid situations where genuine people are deprived of their rights and simply getting blackmailed by people who are filing cases. And what they do, they simply say, okay, 1 crore ka mala, you give me 20 lakhs, I will withdraw the case, and then the entire transaction goes through. So all these things, once we have studied our historical pattern of data, or at least we have kept our eyes open as to what is happening in common in other members, we can put in place systems. So everything is now dependent on data, maybe front running, maybe script manipulation, maybe insider trading. Everything can be identified through patterns. Exchanges and SEBI has done an excellent job. They have given us the insight as to how we can do it. By issuance of circular, they have also said how we should do it. And after that, if we are not doing it, then it is not a very good idea.
So Raviji in detail has covered the transaction monitoring aspect. I just want to add that from the pre-account opening aspect as well, there are how we can leverage technology is that there are APIs that are available that within seconds give you a screening output whether the person is present in any debarred list or any blacklisted database. It helps you to do the risk profiling of the person so that you don't end up onboarding any bad actors. You know who you're onboarding into your organization. And also one of the problem or challenges that analysts face today is whenever they are investigating a case, very limited KYC details or financial information of the person is available. So there are technologies that kind of help you to do a complete internet due diligence on the person, try to understand where the person works, through LinkedIn profiles or through open source information. So you kind of get an estimate that, okay, this person is capable of doing, say, 50 lakh, 1 crore word transaction, and you can actually use that to close the cases or analyze the alerts that are getting generated. So I think these two are also use cases that can be utilized through technology.
It also gives you a measure of what kind of pitch do you give to your customer, right?
Yeah.
So that also helps. What we see is technology is also a culprit in a manner, but also helps you process the data to get out of the cycle.
Yeah.
What kind of practical challenges do you see for the intermediaries?
Shall I answer? So from challenges perspective, from our standpoint, we divide it into two aspects. So there are boutique brokers. Now, in case of boutique brokers, the challenges are that there are less margins, the profitability is less, and with the ever-growing regulatory and digital requirement, it kind of becomes difficult for them to keep up with the requirements. As a solution to it would be, now there are SaaS platforms that are available that they can utilize so that they don't have to invest in physical infrastructure at their end. They can actually leverage the SaaS platforms that are available. Talking from large brokers, the challenges are volumes, making, and because of the high volumes, making sure that they are identifying and focusing on only high risk cases. They are spending their time investigating high risk cases. And also in case of digital brokers and also large brokers, customer experience is at the center. So making sure that there's a balance between customer experience and compliance, I feel is a challenge for them. And something that's common between the two is the 31st December 2024 surveillance circular that has come out. Understanding it well, implementing it well is a major task at hand for all the trading members that are there. Yeah.
Because of the ignorance of the team which has been bestowed the responsibility, but they take it very lightly. So, as promoters, directors and owners of companies, the management should be ensuring that their team is well equipped, one, with the technology, resources and all that, which definitely everybody spends. Second is on the knowledge front, which they should ensure that at least the teams have qualified certain examinations. There are global, local, so many courses which are available. Now doing that, it helps a lot. See, at times the person executing, they are very complacent ki humko sab aata hai. But once you have qualified a particular or obtained some certification, you will get some incentive. Now that will percolate into bringing a lot of safety to the entire organization. So training is one area where everybody has to collectively focus. Quality of training and frequency of training, both is important.
So AI for a long time has been a buzzword, but then now we have realized that it's a reality, it's here to stay. People are actually using it for their day-to-day work. So I think of AI as an assistant that would help the investigator take faster decision. From capital market standpoint, I think it's too early for us to comment on how it's going to be utilized. From our standpoint, we are making investments in that direction. But then the major concern is that for an organization to utilize AI and ML for investigation, the model has to be deployed in the organization's end and the model has to be trained. So the users of the organization have to take decisions so that the model knows that this is suspicious, this is not. Now, investigation is actually a very subjective topic. Something that I find suspicious, you could find that it's not suspicious. So how the model gets trained depends on the culture of compliance, the experience of the users that are present in the organization. So yeah, that is a concern area. We are working towards it. Again, I feel that it's too early to comment on it right now. Maybe next year when we are at StockTech, we'll be able to share better insights with you on this topic. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so let's jointly discuss this. What do you see as the future of PML and surveillance? In what direction are we headed? I mean, because it's a constantly evolving scenario, wherein as Ravi said, that bad actors are now implementing technology to create these issues, and we also are using technology to sift them out and flag them. So, as the surveillance landscape keeps evolving, what do you see the path ahead?
The speed of innovation is the only factor which is changing here. The issues are coming faster, issues are getting innovative, and therefore the solutions will also have to be getting on innovative. And that way, once we have started addressing the situations, being prompt and being alert, things would automatically fall in place. So this is the limited kind of a point which we can remember and keep on innovating day in, day out, finding solutions for the problems that have already occurred and learning from other people's issues. Now Anmi and all are excellent platforms where many members, they share their issues, they come up with their problems, and it also maintains the entire knowledge bank. Circulating that knowledge amongst members on an no-name basis can also help alerting other members as to what is happening in the latest. So everyone need not experience the problem personally, it can happen directly by the experience of other people.
So I think the AML and surveillance regulations are going to be keep on evolving with the digital and the global changes that are happening. AML professionals are going to be in demand because the regulators' focus is on AML. Plus, in the last assessment that was conducted by FATF of India, India came out with flying colors. So we need to make sure that we continue on that streak, and also it helps us with foreign investments. With the growing economy, that's an added advantage. So AML and surveillance is definitely going to be on focus, and yeah, we all need to jointly work towards it. Thank you.
So thank you to our panelists, Saheli and Ravi Bhai, for sharing the expertise, and thank you for your engaging participation. Enjoy the rest of StockTech 2025.
Thank you very much, Anmi and StockTech, for allowing this opportunity. I believe this will be of somewhat help, this discussion, and let us take it forward the way we have been taking it forward ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the Anmi event keeps on getting bigger and bigger year by year. So congratulations to the whole team, and thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.